Hey traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Market Predictions video. In these videos, we go through the top 5 major pairs in the Forex market, and I give you guys my predictions on these pairs for the week and for the near future. Today, we're going to be talking about the Euro dollar, the Pound dollar, the Dollar Yen, Dollar Swiss, and Aussie dollar. I'll be taking you guys through each of these pairs and pointing out the key levels of structure that I'm paying attention to for trading opportunities, along with give you my predictions on the direction each of these markets is going to go. We do a video like this each week, so if you want to stay ahead of the market and you're interested in receiving notifications when these videos come out, then click the subscribe button directly below this video. And if you'd like other free tutorials and courses that we don't offer here on YouTube, then what you can do is click the link in the description labeled free training and go ahead and sign up for our email list at thetradingchannel.net. I'm going to let the intro and disclaimer roll. Go ahead and click that like button, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright traders, so let's go ahead and get today's analysis started on the Euro dollar daily chart. Over the past couple of weeks, we've had a few really good trades off of this pair and off the levels we pointed out. We had a short trade from the 1.2057 level. We also had a long trade within the last couple of weeks from this previous resistance level that turned into support for this pair right in here. So let's try to continue that process. We're going to go ahead and point out the key levels first. And as you can see, I already have them marked with my red and blue lines. The blue lines are going to be the major levels of support that I'm paying attention to on this pair, and the red lines are going to be the major levels of resistance. So for support, we do have this 1.1871 level where the market's hovering right now, and really we'll have to wait to the end of this day in order to see whether or not this support level holds. Now, unless this market before the end of the day pushes back up and closes above this level, then I have a short bias here on the Euro dollar. And I'll take this chart down to a smaller time frame. We'll discuss a little more about that in just a second. But as for my other levels of support, if this market does fall from this level, we'll be looking at 1.1664 as our next level of support, next buying opportunity based on a couple of different support and resistance levels we have in the past here on the Euro dollar. And below that, we have 1.1453. Now that's probably pretty far away in terms of when we get there, so let's just focus on these top 2 levels for now. Also, as resistance, we have the same 1.2057 level that we previously have found as resistance right back here on this market. And above that, if we get some kind of rally out of the Euro dollar, not very likely, but possible, then the next level we'll be looking for resistance is 1.2295. So those are my 2 resistance and my 2 support levels for the Euro dollar. Now let's take a look at what our initial bias is on this pair. What are we looking for out of this market currently throughout this week in particular? Well, as I was talking about just a second ago, we have this 1.1871 support level that looks as though it's being pushed below. It doesn't look like the market's respecting this level at the moment. So if we take that down to a lower time frame, let's jump down to a 4-hour chart. As you can see, this 4-hour candle looking as though it's going to close bearish in the next about 20 minutes here on the Euro dollar. And if we do get a close, that close is going to be below our most previous support level right here. And if this close happens to be below this previous support level, then my initial bias and my bias for this week on the Euro dollar will be bearish. I'll be looking for short trades down into the 1.1664 level. As I said, unless we close back above this 1.1871 level before the end of the day. So how can we get involved knowing that short bias that we have? Well, we can look for a few different things out of this market, including some kind of retracement to get involved going short. And there is a situation where we don't get a retracement at all, and this market continues lower. In that case, we may look on some lower time frames for a way to get involved in the bearish direction here on the Euro dollar. So that's what we're paying attention to here on the Euro dollar. And that's how we plan to trade the Euro dollar throughout the rest of this week. Let's go ahead and move on to our next pair. Alright guys, so here we are on the Aussie dollar, the next pair we're going to take a look at. And what we'll do is go ahead and discuss the key levels of structure for this market. As for support, we're getting pretty close to this 0.7898 level. That's a level we can actually look at and consider buying opportunities from if we get down to that level and if we get an entry reason. Important to remember that part, guys. If we just get down to that level, it's not very significant unless you get some kind of entry reason based on your trading plan. Now below that level for support, if the market passes that level and continues down, then we're going to be looking at 0.7821 as the next level of support for the Aussie dollar. Now as for resistance, if we get some kind of rally out of this market, we'll be looking at 0.8020 as our first level of resistance here on the Aussie dollar. And above that, we're going to be looking at 0.8105. as the next level of resistance for shorting opportunities. Now, this market has had a very difficult time staying above the 0.805 level. As you can see, every time the market's tried to pass that level, we had a wick here, push up, and then pushed back down. We had a rally from this market, long wick to the top, and a push back down from the 0.805 level, and then another wick pushed above and sold off back down from that level. And previously, before that, this market was actually in a pretty strong uptrend. So with that being the case, guys, as it sits right now, my current bias for the Aussie dollar is that I don't have a bias. And that's okay. It's okay not to know which direction this market's going to go. These are the times when a trader must learn to sit on his hands and not place a trade if the market looks unpredictable. And this is unpredictable market structure according to my trading plans and according to the way I read the market. So for that reason, I'm not going to be placing a trade on the Aussie dollar unless we get some kind of move. Guys, I want to see this market do something first and show me which direction it wants to go. Something like pushing down to this support level and then putting in some kind of entry reason, or pushing below that support level and putting in some kind of entry reason, or a rally out of this market to this resistance and some kind of entry reason from there. Until one of those two things happens, I really do not have a bias on the Aussie dollar for this week. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens with this market, whether it pushes down further to our support levels or rallies up to a resistance level. Now, once we break through one of those levels, we can look for some trend continuation on lower time frames down to our next levels of support and resistance. But that's a little more advanced than I like talking about here on YouTube. So what we're going to do is go ahead and move on to our next pair. That's what we're predicting out of the Aussie dollar. Next up, we're going to take a look at the pound dollar. All right, traders, so let's talk about the pound. Here we are on the pound dollar daily chart. And I'll go ahead and point out some levels of structure that we'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities. For support, we're actually right around the 1.3440 level. I really like this level as support. I like it as a place to look for some buying opportunities on lower time frames, and we'll discuss a little more about that in just a second. But for our next level of support, if we get a break below that level, we can be looking down here at the 1.3233 zone for some kind of buying opportunities as well. And as for resistance, if we get a rally or a push above from this 1.3440 level from here, if we get a push above, we can look for our next resistance level around 1.3853, and above that level we can look around the 1.4090 level. So that's what we can look at for the distant future. Let's go ahead and talk about our current bias and our current predictions here on the pound dollar. And guys, when I say bias, I just mean whether or not I'm looking for the market to head higher or head lower. So which one of those are we expecting out of the pound dollar? Let's go ahead and take it down to a 4-hour chart and talk about it. Here we are on that 4-hour chart, guys. And as I said, I really like this level as a level to be looking for long opportunities. Now, of course, there is a chance that we break right below that level, but according to the daily chart analysis, we should see this market head higher. Of course, we could see a little bit deeper of a retracement than this, but this is going to be our first stop, our first level where we start to look for some buying potential down on lower time frames. Now, we're not getting any kind of buying signal as of right now, and if we don't, then we're not going to be taking this market long. But if we get a signal based on our trading plan to actually go long, based on some of those EAP entry reasons that we teach in the training program, that we may go ahead and take this as a long trade here on the pound dollar. As for right now, looking for long trades out of the pound dollar right here at this support level. And there is another scenario where our bias reverses. So right now looking for long trades, but if we get a pretty decent close below that level, we're going to immediately switch that bias to short and be trying to take short trades all the way down to 1.3233 level here on the pound dollar. So that's what we're looking at here on the pound dollar. And actually, let me go ahead and talk a little more about why I'm interested in a long opportunity from this level. Not only is it because this is a major level of daily support and resistance that's been respected as structure in the past, so we know there's a pretty high likelihood chance that we see some kind of movement off of this level. But with that being the case, and also being able to put our stop loss just below this little area of consolidation and support down here, would put our stop right around that area. And knowing that we can take targets off just below this next level of resistance gives us a great risk reward possibility on this trade. So we know we have a lot of room to the upside on this market based on our structure analysis out on the higher time frames. But that's all for the pound dollar. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to take a look at our next pair, which is going to be the dollar yen. All right, so what's going on here on the dollar yen? We're on the daily chart. Right now we're looking at this level of resistance at 112.028. The market pushed above that level, closed above that level, and now has actually pulled back below it. So does that give us a short or a long bias? Well, in order to determine that, we have to look at what this market did most previously. We have this rally, and I know I have a lot of lines on my chart, guys, so that may make this a little difficult to see, but we have this rally that broke above this resistance level, putting us into what could be a new bullish trend. So because our most previous break of structure was to the upside, was a bullish break of a previous resistance level, and actually a couple of different previous resistance levels, because of that, and because we just closed above that daily important structure level, we're actually looking at this as a long bias. We're going to be looking for possible long trades down on lower time frames. So before we do that, let's go ahead and discuss some of these structure levels and the spots that we'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities in the distant future. A little more towards the immediate future, we have the 111.09 zone, and I'm actually going to take you guys down to a smaller time frame and discuss a trading opportunity that we're going to have at that level. But if the market breaks below that level, the next level we'll be looking at for support is 108.97. Now for resistance, we do have this 112.028, and we could see a continuation down from this level of resistance. And if we do get this rally that we're expecting out of the dollar yen, then what we can see is the next level of resistance being at 114.18. That's going to line up really well with these previous resistance levels back here. So that's some of the levels we're going to be paying attention to. But now let's go ahead and head down to a smaller time frame, down to the 1 hour chart. I'm going to show you guys a trading opportunity that I'm actually paying attention to. All right, guys, so here we are on that 1 hour chart. And do you guys notice anything that looks interesting about this chart? Well, of course, we have this 111.09 area. This is a level where the market has found support and resistance in the past, and it's a level we pointed out as a key level of structure that the market may respect once more. Well, I'll give you guys a hint. There's also an advanced pattern ending pretty close to this level. So for those of you who are familiar with advanced patterns, go ahead and see if you can spot it. Did you guys spot this Gartley pattern? Here we have an X to A move that has a 618 retracement, followed by more than a 618 retracement back up towards A from B to C. And now we're just waiting on that completion point. So let's go ahead and draw this pattern in. And as you can see, once I draw it in, we have a completion of this Gartley pattern very close to our 111.09 major level of structure. So I'll go ahead and put on a long position tool. We're going to have our stop loss below this major level of structure, and we are going to have profits sitting around the 382 level for first targets, and for second targets we'll be looking for trend continuation out of this pair. So that is our most recent analysis here on the dollar yen and what we're expecting out of this pair. We'll be keeping an eye on this pair and seeing if this advanced pattern does complete here on the dollar yen. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to our next pair and final pair of this video, which is going to be on the dollar Swiss. All right, guys, so let's talk dollar Swiss. And what a messy chart, am I right? This market been pushing down, and then finally pushed back up, breaking resistance before pushing back down, breaking support before pushing back up and breaking resistance. Very serious form of consolidation at this point here on the dollar Swiss. And we have pushed back up to our most recent resistance level right here, and actually had a nice push down from that level. But similar to the Aussie dollar, guys, there's not really a good bias for this pair. I'm not looking for long or short trades unless this pair shows me something at one of these other levels. This line here actually needs to be changed to blue for support, and that is going to be the first thing that we're looking for here out of the dollar Swiss. I want to see this market push down at least to that 0.9628 level and show me that we can see some buying pressure, show me that we have some potential buyers for this market at that level. That'll be the first thing I'm looking for. But if we push below that level, then I'll be waiting to see if we get buying pressure from 0.9558. I'll be looking in that zone for potential buying opportunities. And as for resistance, if we get a push back up to the 0.9747 level that has already acted as resistance multiple times in the past, then I'll be looking for shorting opportunities on lower time frames from that level. And if we get a push that rallies above that level, then I'll be looking for more shorting opportunities around 0.9869. As I said, guys, as for right now, similar to the Aussie dollar, we don't really have a bias on this dollar Swiss pair, because as you can see, this one daily candle touched our level of resistance and pushed all the way down and almost touched that next level of support that's over 100 pips away. So no real clear direction out of the dollar Swiss, but that's what we're paying attention to for the future of this pair, is to see if we can get a test of one of these major levels of structure and possibly get an entry reason off of them. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's market analysis and for what we're expecting out of these top 5 pairs throughout this week and in the near future. If you want to make sure you're the first to receive alerts about these market prediction videos, then make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button below the video, and also head over to thetradingchannel.net. There'll be a link in the description. Sign up for our email list. If you enjoy this type of analysis and you would like to learn more about the entry reasons and techniques that we use in order to trade the markets, then we offer all of that information in our training program called the EAP. This program's already helped many traders on their path to becoming profitable and teaches in a step-by-step format how to go from losing trades to becoming a consistently profitable trader and treating your trading like a business. So if you're interested in that program, if you want to learn a little more about that, then I'll leave a link in the description labeled EAP, and that link will take you to a video that'll explain all about that training program. If you enjoyed today's video, then please go ahead and click that like button. I've made it a goal to try to get 300 likes on each of these weekly prediction videos. So if you don't mind, then make sure to click that like button and help us achieve that goal. Other than that, guys, keep an eye out for our next videos here at the Trading Channel. I wish you guys the best of luck in the markets throughout your future trades. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.
Don't let me